Hello, this is Michael with PianoWithMichael.com and LearnPianoWeb.com. In this video, I'm going to discuss understanding the keys. So in most common traditional pianos, you're going to find 88 keys. And in today's common digital keyboards, you're going to find a few less, anywhere from 61 keys, sometimes 72 keys. What we're going to do is take a look at the 88 keys on a standard piano. And if you take a look at it, let's start off with middle C. And middle C doesn't actually refer to the middle of the keyboard, although it's close. What middle C represents is the middle note between the treble clef and the bass clef. So if we go back to the keyboard and the 88 keys, and we move to the right of middle C, or just in general to the right, we refer that as moving higher or to the higher notes. And so this middle C, as we move up the keyboard to the higher notes, would be going this way. Now, if we move in the left direction, we're referring to the lower notes. And that would mean that we're from middle C or anywhere, but as long as we're moving downwards, and that's considered lower notes. Now, if we look at the keyboard or the piano, what we see is a series of white keys and black keys. And within the keys, there is a repeating series that consists of 12 keys, which 7 are white, and then you also have a block of 2 black keys close together and a block of 3 black keys together. And so if you look at it, we got C, D, E, F, G, A, and B. And so if you take a look at this block of 12 keys, which consists of 7 white and 2 and 3 black keys, it repeats here, 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 and then also down here, and also down here. So it's the same pattern of these 12 keys. So if you take a look at if you take a closer look at the block of repeating keys, what you'll see is 2 black keys that are close together, and then 3 black keys that are close together. And between these keys, the black and the white represents a half step and a whole step. So when we go from C to D, you'll see that this black key is in between the two. We consider this jump from C to D a whole step. Now, if we went from C to this black key, that's considered a half step up. Now, if we go from D to the black key, that's actually considered a half step lower. And so between D and E, we also see this black key. So this is also a full step. Now, same can be said between this key and this black key. So we have this in between. So this black key to this black key is considered a full step. Now, from this black key down to E is considered a half step. Now, we notice that there's this gap between the 2 black key block and the 3 black key block. And this gap here represents a half step. So we went from E to F, which, like I said, is considered a half step. So now if we jump from F to this black key, that's considered up a half step. And then if we go from G down to this key, that's considered a half step as well. So now again, G, A, in between is a black key, that's considered a whole step. And between this black key and this black key is also considered a whole step. Now, sometimes you'll see this this note here in today's common terms. It's considered a pound key, and that's actually considered a sharp. And what a sharp does is represents a half step from whatever key or note that you're on. So if you went from C upwards, like I said, moving to the right is rising or higher notes, and going to the left is lower. So when we raise a half step from C to this black key, that's considered a C sharp. Now, if we go from D or a key down a half step, let's say from D down to this black key, that's considered a flat. So this notation here is considered a flat. And what that does is lower a key down a half step. So C, depending on this might be confusing, but depending on what key signature that we're in, will determine if it's a sharp or a flat. So if we move from C up to here, that's actually considered a C sharp or a D flat. So this note here is the same as a C sharp or a D flat. And again, that all depends on what key signature that you're in. So when we move from D downwards, that's considered a D flat. If we move from D up to this half, or D a half step up, that's considered D sharp. And vice versa, if we come from E down, that's considered E flat. So from F, a half step up is F sharp, G down a half step is a G flat, G white key up to the black key, a half step is a G sharp, A down is an A flat, A up a half step is a sharp, and B down is considered B flat. And again, so in review, if we take a look at the 88 keys and we move to the right, we're going to higher notes. Now, if we move to the left, that's considered going down or lower notes. And again, we have a series of 12 keys of 7 white and 5 black keys, 2 groups grouped in 2 and grouped in 3. And we have a whole step and a half step, a whole step and a half step. And between the E and F is also a half step, since we don't have a black key in between the two. And again, the sharp raises the note a half a note or a half step, and the flat notation lowers the note a half step. Thank you for watching our video. Please like and share it. And if you'd like to learn more, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit PianoWithMichael.com.